Hey there guys, welcome back to another smartphone review. Today we'll be taking a look at the latest OnePlus device, the OnePlus 6. This smartphone is a performance beast with a price tag lower than many of the competitors out there, like the likes of Google, Samsung and Apple, but with a slight price increase from the OnePlus 5T from 6 months ago. Let's just hope it doesn't catch up to the price anytime soon, but keeps up with the performance. Let's begin with the build quality. The phone has a unibody design that is tight shut, and this time around it is water resistant, but it does not have an IP rating certification. It should be able to handle light rain and splashes here and there, but no submersion. The back of the phone feels great with its curved glass, but I don't really like it. I wish they stuck with the aluminum since they didn't add wireless charging, and it's just more fragile. The phone is very slippery and it does have some anti-coating for fingerprints. The fingerprints don't really show up on here. You can see smudges, but you can just wipe it away really easily with the cloth or your finger. But it's nothing a case can't fix, or even a skin if you don't like having cases on your phone. The OnePlus 6 still holds on to the bottom firing mono speaker that is as good as the 5T. I was really hoping for some stereo speakers, but oh well. Next to that is a USB Type-C port, and the endangered headphone jack follows, which I'm glad they kept. The alert slider got moved to the right side, which I find to be a better position, and there are some nice animations when you toggle it. It's a shame that OnePlus stuck to a 1080p display with the OnePlus 6. It's one of the best 1080p AMOLED panels that you can find on a smartphone, and it certainly helps with battery life, but a high resolution would have been great at this point. The display has a 19:9 aspect ratio, and it has that notch which is considerably smaller than many of the notches out there. There's a lot of hate on the notch, but don't let the notch stop you from getting this amazing phone. You have the option to hide it via software while still getting the extra display real estate. You won't be able to see as many notifications icons as you would normally on a non-notch phone, but still plenty of them. And with the most recent update, it fits more notifications icons up there, and you can see the battery percentage as well as a lightning bolt icon when dash charges, so that is good to see that they added because it was not there at launch. Something that really helps out the display is the rounded edges of the display, which gives it an amazing look. Well, at least I think so. So Face Unlock continues to be as fast as ever, as well as the fingerprint scanner unlocking your device instantly. Face Unlock is not the most secure, but you can always use your fingerprint scanner to sign into apps and authorize purchases. So far my experience has been smooth, and unlike the OnePlus 5T, I have found zero issues on my unit for the past month. What I enjoy the most about OnePlus is the stock Android feel they give you with a bit of flavor to it. It's a clean Android experience. It is running Android 8.1 out of the box, and it will be getting the Android P update when it comes out. If you're interested to try out Android P, then you're in luck because the OnePlus 6 is eligible for beta testing, and it's on beta 3 developer preview 4 right now, which is a more stable version of Android P, so you can go ahead and download that if you really want it. I like the additions the Oxygen OS brings, like being able to change themes from light to dark, where it turns the background and notification shade to either white or black depending on what you choose. And you can change the accent colors from a given set of color options. This makes the phone feel more personal and gives it character. There are a couple of screen gestures you can do while the screen is off to speed up tasks. So I have the flashlight to toggle on when I draw an O on the screen, which has been very handy for me and working very well. Controlling music from the off screen has been working great, and you don't even need to look at the screen because you can do the gestures on any part of the display and it will work. Something that I was very excited to see on the OnePlus 6 is that it can be unlocked by saying the hot word OK Google or Hey Google while the display is off. This is something I enjoyed on other phones like LG, Samsung, and the One's Nexus devices. It wastes a bit more battery since it has to always be listening for the key word, but I don't mind that trade-off since I use this a lot. Hey Google, tell me something funny.
How do you get over a fear of elevators? Just take some steps to avoid them.
This is a feature that wasn't available on previous OnePlus models, and is something I've been enjoying and has been working well for me. Moving on, OnePlus has removed the option to enable aptX HD audio codec because it has it turned on by default. There are some cool earphone features that they added on the OnePlus 6. Music can now automatically be resumed when you connect your phones to a Bluetooth earphone and automatically stop when it disconnects. It can also automatically pick up calls when you are connected to Bluetooth earphones. It works well, but I have that one turned off. It can also broadcast call information to your earphones, and I keep this one on. It can read out the person's name that is calling you, which I find very convenient and has been working great for the past month. These features have been working well with the Samsung Icon X earphones that I have them connected to. I'm sure they work well with the OnePlus Bullet wireless earphones, but I can't get my hands on it because it's out of stock. So you also get some navigation gestures to help you navigate around your phone. That I only used for 2 days. I tried to use it for longer, but it wasn't for me. So I went back to the traditional navigation bar. It's advertised that the gestures make navigation through your phone faster, but I don't find that to be true. It also limits on some things I can do. I can't quickly switch between apps like I can by double tapping the recent button, or I can't quickly go onto split screen by holding down on the recent button. You have to drag the window that you want to the top. Also, I can't access Google Assistant unless I say the hot word. I can power the screen off by double tapping the home button, which is something I can't do when I have the gestures turned on. So for me, it's not ideal, at least not as it currently stands. Maybe in the future with future updates, it will get better and I'll give it a try, but right now, I really don't like it. So by far, this is one of the most fluid smartphones in the market, and if you're in the market for a reliable smartphone to game on, then the OnePlus 6 is a very good option. I've been gaming on it a lot and it remains fairly cool throughout my gameplay. It starts warming up within 1 hour of playing PUBG, depending on how high your brightness is set to. It's warm, but it's nothing too uncomfortable to hold. This is where the OnePlus 6 destroys the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. PUBG depletes the battery very quickly on the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus when both set to Full HD. It also makes the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus heat up quickly after one game, and on the OnePlus 6 I can play multiple matches before it starts getting uncomfortably hot. I can even keep playing on the OnePlus 6 while that's charging, which is something I can't do on the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. I can't play and have it charging at the same time, at least not with PUBG and other intensive game. The OnePlus 6 can handle a couple of matches before you see some dramatic depletion. You can expect up to 5 hours of playing PUBG before you need to recharge. I was disappointed when I heard that the OnePlus 6 kept that 3300 mAh battery found on the 5T. I was expecting an increase to at least a 3500 mAh battery. The battery life on my 5T was exceptional, up to 7 hours of on-screen on time on low usage and about 5 hours and a half on moderate usage. On the OnePlus 6 I didn't see much improvement. I am getting about the same battery life if not less than the 5T. It could be that I'm using the OnePlus 6 a bit more than my 5T, but I try to keep it the same. I keep my Bluetooth on all the time because of my smartwatch and NFC on because of Android Pay. I also have GPS enabled on all the time. All of this is just for convenience. The OnePlus 6 lasts me from 9 AM to 10 PM when I get back home with about 8% left. The awesome thing is that the OnePlus 6 still holds on to the sweet sound that tells you your phone is about to go 0 to 60 in half an hour. That charge is one of OnePlus' greatest features, and it's a feature that keeps me purchasing OnePlus devices. Carrying over to the camera, you can quickly launch your camera by double pressing the power button when the screen is off for some quick pictures, and the shutter speed is very fast. Unlike my 5T, I have not encountered any issues with the camera as far as freezing and causing my phone to reboot, so that is good. You can access Google Lens right from the camera with the latest OnePlus camera update, which is very cool to see get implemented in. You can also reach it through the Google Assistant. The front-facing camera is sharp with good saturation and features a portrait mode which does a pretty good job. The rear main 60 megapixel camera with an f1.7 aperture is good. The picture quality is great during the day, but I find it to be a bit too overexposed for my liking with HDR on compared to the pictures you get on the 5T with HDR on. I find the OnePlus 5T to do a much better job at times. I'll throw in a quick comparison in just a moment. I did some quick editing to one of the pictures I took with the OnePlus 6, so you can see how much better it will look if the shadows were increased. I also increased the contrast slightly and also increased the ambience and saturation slightly. I tuned it a bit more in some other areas to try and get the results I would get if I were to take it with the OnePlus 5T, and I think this is close enough. It all just depends on what you prefer to see in your pictures. The secondary 20 megapixel camera with an f1.7 aperture is there to help get lower noise levels as well as to get better detail, and it does help get some very good low light pictures. At night the pictures look great on the OnePlus 6 for most situations, but there are times when the pictures from the 5T look better depending on the lighting condition. Like for instance, inside a car in a parking lot structure where there's not good lighting, the pictures look better on the 5T as you can see in this comparison, so the 5T wins here. I feel that the 5T takes better bokeh pictures than the OnePlus 6. The OnePlus 5T portrait pictures look more vivid, but there are also times where I prefer the OnePlus 6 portrait photos. So here are a couple of side-to-side pictures with HDR on auto on both of the phones so you can see the difference. And then you will see some pictures solely from the OnePlus 6. Where you can see the most improvement on is on the video side. The colors are more saturated and it looks great. They are close to being as good as the colors you get on the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus, and the colors pop way more and I'm glad they improved on that. The camera also now features optical image stabilization alongside digital image stabilization, which helps on getting some very smooth footage. There's a step up in 4K recording. You can now shoot in 4K at 60 frames per second but are limited to 5 minutes just like on the Samsung Galaxy S9. So that is pretty cool, but it eats up your memory very quickly. Another cool feature you will find is a slow motion video at 480 frames per second in 720p resolution, but I haven't found myself using it as much. It's pretty cool and fun to play with when you first get it, but after that I haven't touched it. So if you're in doubts in getting the OnePlus 6, I would recommend you go for it after owning it for over a month. It's worth the price as you get a solid phone. So that concludes today's video. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more videos, and I will talk to you on the next one.